unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Who will Devin Haney fight next? That is the burning question. I believe it will be Sandor Martin. In this video, I will explain that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Devin Haney, WBC Super Lightweight Champion. I am on the WBC's website. He's an undefeated fighter, sharp performance in his last fight versus Regis Prograis, right? As you guys can see, the ratings, the #1 ranked person is Sandor Martin of Spain. #2, Richardson Hitchens. #3 is Gary Antoine Russell. So I believe that Devin Haney's next fight will be his mandatory. The WBC, to what I understand, they made almost an exception for Regis Prograis and Devin Haney to fight. Initially, this was Regis Prograis, his obligation, because he was the WBC champion. So he's the one that should have fought the #1 ranked person. However, an exception or an exemption was granted to allow for a big fight, which had a great buildup, which was Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Seeing how Regis Prograis lost, not only did he lose, he was shut out. He lost every single round. So he lost every single round, which means Devin Haney inherited those problems. The problem with boxing right now is you guys can believe whatever you want. You could believe good old Ego who's been in the game, or you could watch and believe whatever you want. I say what I say. Teofimo said the same thing. He said that Ryan Garcia, and I'll make a separate video about it, but Teofimo Lopez at the Virgil Ortiz fight over the weekend, he said that Ryan switching gears to fight Rolly is a, quote, smart move. I explained this smart move from Ryan Garcia. You don't have to like it, but it's smart. It's smart in terms of you got a brand new trainer, Derek James, and you're putting yourself in a position for power, for leverage, right? As it stands, Devin Haney is the WBC champion. He's undefeated. He has respect in the boxing circles. Ryan Garcia, he's one fight removed from a Gervonta Davis loss. Never been a real champion, and you can go straight into a Devin Haney fight. And I understand a lot of you guys are beta males and a lot of boxing fans are emotional. So they're like, man, I don't care. It's the best versus the best. I mean, you could say that till your face is blue, but boxing is a business and things got to make sense. A fighter is not going to just take a fight because you want to see it. Like Floyd said, I'm a prize fighter, dummy. I fight for a prize. So if the numbers ain't right and things ain't like adding up and things don't jive, then likely we as fans don't get the fight. That's the reality. Anybody tells you different, don't know ish about boxing. That's the reality. So Ryan Garcia is putting himself in a better position for leverage by fighting Rolly. Furthermore, Rolly and Ryan was met with one obstacle. That obstacle was a guy named O'Hara Davis. Him and his manager, they were public and they refused to get out of the way to allow for Ryan versus Rolly. They said that. They said, we're not taking any step aside money. You must fight us or vacate. And they were name calling and things like that. Rolly is the champion at 140 pounds. Only problem for O'Hara Davis is this. O'Hara Davis got brutally knocked out in one round by the old man that Rolly fought to become a champion. So he's out the way. The only obstacle, seemingly the only obstacle that there was between Ryan and Rolly happening was O'Hara Davis. But he just got knocked out badly in one round. People like, pack him up, get him out of here. Get him out of here. So another thing, a Boxing Ego Easter egg is Ishmael Barroso, who defeated O'Hara Davis, is with PBC TGB Promotions, Tom Brown. So he's with the same people. So I truly believe that the Ryan Rolly fight has a great chance. Now, you still got to get past some Golden Boy hurdles, because I don't know if Golden Boy wants to work with PBC and things like that. But Ryan, so far, he's been a person who's like pushing for what he wants, and almost he's like kind of well off financially and things like that, to the point where he can stall out and refuse to fight if he doesn't get his way, type of deal, and make it really difficult for the promoter. And the promoter at that point would probably be like, this is annoying, but we'd rather make some money with Ryan Garcia than make zero money. And Ryan Roley is a big fight, which I'll get to later. So I get it that Ryan went about it weird, gave people hope that the Devin fight could be next. I never bought into that. So I'm not as like disappointed as many of you guys are, because I never thought that would be next, to be frank. And furthermore, knowing what I know about boxing is, to my understanding, the winner of Haney Prograis had to fight Sandor Martin. They had to. That's the mandatory. But we live in the age of TikTok, clickbait on YouTube, and it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make clicks, right? And that's what we're seeing. People are linking, like, for example, Devin Haney fought last month, December 9th, if I'm not mistaken. And before I finish this video, here's a word from our sponsor. Make sure y'all come back, because I got a lot more to say. We ain't going nowhere. Now, the Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready, with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. And we're back. As I was saying, Ryan Garcia, if he pursues Roley, it's a big fight. As far as Devin Haney, his mandatory is Sandor Martin. He has a good record, 42-3, 3 losses with 15 knockouts, right? So not much on the power side. I personally don't have a problem with the fight, because when you look at like the biggest names he fought Teofimo Lopez, and he beat him. He even dropped him in that fight. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a second time where I thought Teofimo got dropped. And the ref didn't count the second one. So kind of like Tyson Fury versus Ngannou, where only one knockdown was scored, but there was 2 moments where there could have been knockdowns counted. So he lost somehow to Anthony Yigit, which is, I don't know how he lost that fight after 12 rounds, but he has lost 3 times. But his bigger names, he stepped up. He beat Mikey Garcia, sent Mikey Garcia into retirement, and he beat Teofimo, as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of people think Teo and Devin are top guys at 140. So I'm not even anti the fight. But what I am anti is all the lies, all the clickbait when we're talking about boxing. Now, I will say this. It's possible. It's definitely possible that the WBC, despite Ryan Garcia and his, like, basically with his popularity and status, and then you combine that with the WBC champion, it's possible that the WBC would be willing to change their rules, because we know the WBC kind of changes the rules or adjust the rules on the fly. So it is possible that if Devin Haney petitioned and was trying to get some kind of exception or exemption and said, hey, I'm fighting Ryan Garcia, you guys got to like get Sandor Martin off my back, let's pay him some step aside. It's possible that that could have happened. But here's the problem. Ryan Garcia just told you that he's going in a different direction. He said Devin Haney blew it. It should be Garcia Haney, not Haney Garcia, yada, yada, yada. So he's already pulled the dagger out and stated that, which leaves Devin Haney without a dance partner, right? So who is Devin Haney going to fight? If you're asking your boy Ego, I think it's the guy he probably always was going to fight, the most realistic guy, which is Sandor Martin. Teofimo is a champion, and he's fighting against Jermaine Ortiz later this month. Shakur's not in the division. Gervonta Abdul Wahid is not in the division. You got who else is he going to fight? Josh Taylor probably moving up in weight. Ryan said he's going a different route, which we'll talk a little bit more about before I close this video. Who else can Devin Haney fight? And this is the thing, is a lot of boxing fans are being duped and confused because of talk. Don't tell me about talk. Show me actions. I don't care about talk. Because realistically speaking, since Devin Haney fought Prograis, his name has been linked to several fighters. Conor Benn, Egg Boy. Eddie Hearn, like, oh yeah, Conor won't sit and blah, blah, blah. So Conor Benn, we've heard Devin Haney could move up and fight Jerron Boots Ennis. Could move up. Some people even link Devin Haney to fighting Terrence Crawford, which sounds ridiculous to me. People have said he could fight Jerron, Crawford, Conor Benn, Keith Thurman, Ryan Garcia recently, Abdul Wahid, right? All these names. And it's like boxing fans have a level of naivete, and it's like they want to be gullible. And instead of looking at plausible, realistic possibilities, which to me is what I'm saying, Devin Haney, WBC champion, fighting Sandor Martin, which is the #1 mandatory, and I think the WBC is going to call it. Especially, they have no reason not to call it, especially with Ryan Garcia announcing that negotiations are over with Devin Haney. So boxing fans, they want to play this game with me. Oh, Ego, you're wrong. And all right, we'll see. You know, at the end of the day, we'll see what it is. But mark this video down. Mark these videos down when I say these things. And then when I'm right, give me my credit. So the reason why Ryan Garcia made a power move to me is because this is coming from a person who, I'm not anti the Sandor Martin fight, Devin Haney fight. I think it's solid. But solid is not necessarily the same as a pay-per-view blockbuster and heavy hitter. So I think that's why a lot of the pro Haney fans are actually mad at Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia, him and Devin Haney collectively would have done great numbers, despite the fact that Gervonta Davis beat and knocked out the undefeated Ryan Garcia. I think it would be a fight that's anticipated. So Devin Haney, people scrutinized his pay-per-view numbers from the Prograis fight. Ryan Garcia will give Devin Haney collectively, the two of them would give Haney about probably the best numbers that he can expect for anybody not named Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney. And we know Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney aren't fighting next because there's been no coordinates. There's been no communication. There's been no indication or negotiations that that fight would happen. So that is why I think people are mad at Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, they feel would be a big event. But here's the kicker. People are blaming Floyd Mayweather and say, oh, Floyd got in Ryan's ear. All that doesn't even matter. That's all subjective and speculation. What does matter is, if we're being realistic, all the people hating and complaining, they're saying, oh, Ryan's a coward, duck, but Ryan will have a bigger fight, in my view, if he fights Rolly. It's going to be an ultra buildup. There's going to be a lot of trash talking, and that for that reason, it'll sell. Rolly's a known name. They have history together. Rolly is with Mayweather Promotion. Ryan, as you see pictures, been spending time with Floyd Mayweather. So at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather will probably be all over that promotion. Now, there's still obstacles like Ryan. I don't know if Golden Boy wants the Rolly fight, but one of the major obstacles was O'Hara Davis, but he's out the picture because O'Hara Davis got stretched out by the old man. So I do think that PBC will probably get to Barroso and say, hey, fight the winner. Just allow us to make this Ryan and Rolly fight. And if that does happen, then I truly believe Ryan versus Rolly is a bigger fight and a bigger, easier sell and more of a conglomerate blockbuster fight than Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin. And this is, again, coming from someone who's not, I understand mandatories. I understand how boxing works. And I don't have anything against Devin or Sandor Martin. But again, putting that on pay-per-view, that's going to be a hard sell because lightning rarely strikes 2 times in the same spot. Regis Prograis, for a name not being Ryan or not Gervonta Davis, he did about as good as you can expect for a name like Regis Prograis in terms of doing his part to help sell the fight. He sold the fight. I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him. I hurt that little boy. I'm gonna hurt him. And he was talking greasy. He was saying that I'm gonna whoop him. His trainer, strength and conditioning guy, Evans Tobler, also was getting into it with Bill Haney and Devin Haney. So they did an amazing job of just bringing interest to that fight. But when we're talking about a Sandor Martin, I mean, this is a guy from Spain. I don't even think that's part of his shtick or MO or culture to really be like at the mouth and trash talking and stuff like that. So Devin's last 2 fights were on pay-per-view. Again, versus Regis Prograis, even, they had a great buildup, even though they're saying the pay-per-view numbers weren't stupendous. And before that was Lomachenko. If they keep this trend up and put Devin Haney on pay-per-view with Sandor Martin, I mean, there's no way I can really see that fight outperforming the Prograis fight or outperforming the Lomachenko fight for sure, because Loma's he's a bigger commodity in the sport of boxing. That's the issue that Devin is running into, not being able to fight Ryan Garcia. But meanwhile, Ryan fighting Rolly still is a big fight. It still is a big fight. And I think it'll do great numbers. And again, it'll be like a crazy buildup and fans will be excited for that. So for that reason, this is why I think a lot of the pro Devin Haney fans are super mad at Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia has a different option that is more of a bankable, sellable option than what I believe will be Devin Haney's next fight, which is Sandor Martin. And I'm going to support the fight because I actually like the fight, right? But I'm just talking about the whole vision and the pay-per-view sales. It's going to be this guy with 3 losses, a guy with no knockout power. It's going to be a hard sell. And I think fans, they still want to gravitate to the bigger fights like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, and they think they're going to pressure these fights to happen. That's just not how boxing works. It's not how the business works and things of that nature. So at the end of the day, we'll see. You know, people are like, oh, Ego, you're wrong. All right, we'll see. That's all I'm going to say is we'll see. We'll see who Devin Haney fights next. You can believe it's Jaron Ennis or Gervonta or Conor Ben. I don't believe none of that. I don't believe it's going to be Ryan Garcia. I told you that. I don't believe none of that. I'm unpacked, and I'm telling you what I think it'll be. I think Ryan's going to push for Rolly, and I think the WBC is going to call for Sandor Martin. And that's really what was always supposed to happen. The winner of Haney Prograis was supposed to fight Sandor Martin because Regis Prograis was supposed to fight Sandor Martin. These mandatories like that, they don't go away. You've seen what happened when Jermell Charlo didn't fight Tim Tszyu. They stripped him. You want to fight the Canelo fight? I bet. We're stripping you. Tim Tszyu became a champion. You've seen what happened to Terrence Crawford. Okay, you got a rematch clause, and Errol was supposed to fight Jaron Ennis, and now since y'all doing a rematch, we got to strip you. And they stripped him, and the IBF gave it to Jaron Ennis. So unless there's some wild card that Devin Haney fights, I really see the most likely suitor being none other than Sandor Martin. And again, I think that's a harder sell than Ryan Garcia versus Rolly. But that's just my opinion. Catch some of my other videos we unpacked.